Hey candle friends, welcome back. Or if you're new here, hi, I'm Ashley. I'm the owner of Mrs. Frizz & Co., a small batch handcrafted candle business located in Ontario, Canada. On this channel, we talk about everything from making product to behind the scenes look at owning your own small handcrafted brand. If that's something that interests you, I would love for you to hit subscribe and stick around, become part of the group. Last year, I posted a video about all the programs that I was using to run my small business, and it was a lot. It was a lot. It was possibly even a little aggressive, how many programs I talked about. So this is the updated version. I'll link the old one, but honestly, I wouldn't even watch it. Just watch this one and we will go through what I'm still using and what I stopped using because it just wasn't growing with me or my business anymore. So if you are looking at starting your own small handcrafted brand, or maybe you already have one and you're wondering why you're paying for 97 subscriptions, this video could be for you. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first group of things that I want to talk about are the programs that I use for design and content. Canva is still very much the backbone of my business. I use it for my labels, my signage, anything that doesn't require me to cry in Photoshop. Canva. Okay, I pay the yearly. And bear with me guys, because I have notes today because I did research to find out how much I pay for everything. So the Canva subscription is $119.99 a year, or it's $12.99 a month. So you get a couple months free if you pay for it up front. That's what I do. If Canva disappeared tomorrow, I would simply lie down. It would be the end of me. I use it for so much. I love Canva, and as it updates and it gets more apps integrated into it, it is such a powerful tool. Use the free version, especially when you're just getting started, to see how it fits in with what you're doing, but highly recommend Canva, as do most people. So there's a reason. The next thing that I use is Cricut Design Space, and I think anybody who's been here for a while knows that I do my own labels. So I design them in Canva and then I print them. I do a print and cut in Cricut. So I still have that. I accidentally forgot to cancel my subscription for Design Space. So I have like Design Space Plus or Cricut Access or whatever it's called. And basically that gives me access to all their shapes and images and whatever, a bunch of things in Cricut Design Space. But I'm gonna be honest, like I very rarely use my Cricut for anything other than labels nowadays. And if I am using it for something else, I'm typically importing my own images. So you do not need the Cricut Access or Design Space Plus or whatever the heck it's called. It was not even listed here. It was expensive. It was $119.88 plus tax for the year. Like I said, I forgot to cancel. So this is on me. This is my bad. I'm going to hopefully try and use my Cricut a few times this year to get a little bit of bang for my buck. It's also $9.99 a month. So, you know, you're not saving that much money doing the yearly subscription. But, anyways, I have now canceled, so it will not renew next year. So as of next year, I will be saving $120 a year because I don't need the Cricut Access or Plus or whatever. I don't need the subscription. I just need Design Space, which is free. So there you go. This one's really moved up on my list this year, and that's ChatGPT. And I will be honest, I pay for it. It's like $20 American a month. And so I think that works out. It's like 26 bucks or something, because like screw you economy. But nonetheless, I use ChatGPT all the time. I also do it, not even just for my business. Like I use it in my house for everything. I have a wall and I want to put up pictures, like ChatGPT, show me what this is going to look like. What shelves can I buy from IKEA? I use it so much, and I kept hitting roadblocks with free version. So that's why I started paying for it. I don't know that I will pay for it forever. I don't know if it's something I can honestly justify, but nonetheless, for now I do. And another thing that I am absolutely obsessed with right now with ChatGPT is just talking to it. I have the app on my phone, and when I think of things, I basically open it up and I just start talking. It's a giant brain dump for me. And ChatGPT is able to take that brain dump, break it down into sections. So when I'm talking about upcoming launches or things I need to start working on, projects, and, you know, I'm listing things for short-term versus long-term, like, it's just a really great tool for me to use for these brain dumps. And I've tried a lot of different things. I love the ease of being able to just talk to it. But like I said, I'm also using it to take pictures of my pantry and then have it tell me what I can make for dinner for the week. So this one, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know how beneficial it would be for everybody's business. I think I talked previously, or definitely in another video, I have discussed ChatGPT, and I know people use it to write their content and stuff. Don't do that. We know. Everybody knows. Definitely a good spot to proofread things. So I would suggest you writing it and then feed it into ChatGPT. Take notes, that's fine. But people can tell when you use it to write all your content, to write your captions, to essentially be the voice of your brand, and you don't want that. But what you do want to use it for is to be your personal assistant, because I will tell you right now that the $25 or so a month that I spend for it, I get way more out of it. And PAs are expensive to hire. It keeps all my notes about scents that I'm playing with when I'm physically making product. I always have my ChatGPT open. I'm always telling it my percentages of fragrance oils, mixing temps, times, everything. And then in the end, I have all my notes written down. It's really easy to sort. I cannot stress the value behind ChatGPT. I think that the biggest issue is people are using it for the wrong reasons. So careful. But you definitely want to familiarize yourself with ChatGPT. The other thing that I use ChatGPT for is brainstorming for my content. It's helped me create a content calendar. And it's really good at helping me fill in gaps with like some filler material or making a list of product shots that I need to take. So I can't stress how valuable it can be if you're using it for the right reasons. Don't use it to be your voice. Use it to be your employee. It's not replacing your thinking, it's supporting it. Okay, so then on top of that, as much as I use ChatGPT, I'm just also kind of old school. So there's a few programs that I use for like planning and tracking. And a lot of times I will build lists in ChatGPT and then I will dump them into other files because those are formats that I'm comfortable with. And I like to visualize things in a very specific way. So the first thing, and I talked about this last year, is Microsoft. You will have to pry Microsoft programs out of my cold dead hands, okay? When I bought my computer, I bought how much was it? I paid $169. I got Microsoft Home. So it came with Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And I think this is what I always do. I buy a new computer, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I don't know. I feel like this is like my 4th MacBook and not that long, but they don't make them like they used to, but that's a whole other topic. But anyways, I use Microsoft Word and Excel for all of the boring things, the costing, the tracking, the planning, lists of collections. And like I said, like a lot of times I'm just extracting information from ChatGPT and dumping it here so that I can have files on my computer where I know where everything lives and everything's organized. I've told you guys I'm a project manager. I need structure and this is where I'm comfortable. So Excel, Word, they don't care about trends. They just care about the information that you give them. And it's super beneficial. And specifically with managing all of my fragrances, all of my blends, anything that I'm using straight out of the pack, names for my oils, it all lives in an Excel file, very much like my budget all lives in an Excel file. So yeah, I know some people are working off like their notes or just strictly keeping everything in ChatGPT. I don't know. Call me old school. I am of a certain age now, but like if you asked me, I would call it a PowerPoint presentation, not a slide deck. Okay, so there you go. That's where we're at. I need my Microsoft suite. The other thing that I'm using is Monday.com. Talked about this in the last one. Again, with brain dumps, being able to visualize a to-do list. I don't use it so much, actually. I guess that's wrong. I don't actually use it so much for the brain dump anymore. I'm using it more so for the to-do list, the immediate to-do list, and then the down the road to-do list. And you can build templates in it. So if you have a show coming up, open the template, rename it, show next weekend, whatever, and it'll give you the exact to-do list that you have been doing for however long. I love the way that Monday visualizes things. I love being able to see things color coded and know, like, okay, if it's red, like, it needs to be done. I can tell it what I'm working on. Super customizable, and it really helps prevent things from falling through the cracks. So I love Monday. I'm using the free plan. Here's a tip for you. When you sign up, they will give you access to the like paid plan for 7 days. And then 7 days will come and they'll be like, do you want to upgrade your plan? And you'll be like, no, I'm good with free. And they'll be like, okay, well, why don't you just try the upgraded plan for another 7 days? And then you'll be like, okay, whatever. And then 7 days will go by and the thing will pop up again and it'll say, do you want to upgrade your plan? And you'll be like, nah, I'm good. Free plan it is. And then it'll be like, well, you know what? Why don't you just try the paid plan again, like for free? I cannot tell you how many times this has happened. And there has been times where it has like downgraded me to the free plan, but I don't keep enough in there where the free plan doesn't work for me. The free plan has always worked for me. And then a couple weeks later, they'll be like, hey, do you want to try the upgraded plan again for another 7 days? So I don't know. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm almost always on the upgraded plan, but just for free. So do it that way you will. And then I think maybe one of the most valuable tools that I use is Inventora. I've talked about it, I think, in multiple videos now. I know lots of small businesses talk about Inventora. If you're looking to track inventory, you have limited options. When I first started, I was using my own Excel spreadsheets, and you know your girl loves Excel. But as I started to scale, I was having a hard time making Excel scale with me. I'm pretty good with my spreadsheets, but I'm not like a spreadsheet genius. So Inventora is very user-friendly, very plug and play, and it tracks so much. It tracks all of my purchases, which is a huge thing for me whenever I'm ordering material. It tracks all my oils. I cannot tell you how many times I have loaded a cart up at one of my fragrance oil suppliers only to go to Inventora and realize that I've already bought those oils. Not all of them, but like, I'll be like, oh my God, I forgot. I ordered a pound of that last year and it's tucked away in the basement. I haven't even smelt it yet. So Inventora has been a game changer for me. Anytime I'm about to, impulsively pull the trigger on an order, I just quickly check my Inventora. It's very helpful, obviously, tracking how much product I have on hand. And now that I have, some product out in some stores, it's very beneficial. I can't say enough good things about Inventora. Like I was going to say too is, the other thing I was going to say too is we have limited options. I think basically it's Inventora or it's Crafty Base, and Crafty Base is more expensive. Inventora, I think it depends on the plan you go with. I pay $20 something a month. When I first signed up, I did have like a coupon, I think for I feel like it was like 25% off for the first year. That's just expired. So I am probably just going to flip and switch to the annual paid membership. Listen, the Canadian dollar is so low right now that it's painful to pay for yearly subscriptions of things if they're in USD. So it's kind of hindered me a little bit. I'm hoping maybe it'll creep up there shortly and then I can pull the trigger. But for now, whatever. I think it's $26 or something with the exchange a month. So honestly, not that bad. And honestly, the amount of information that I hold in my Inventora, the Inventora tracking is so valuable to me. I don't end up recounting my candles, which is really nice. Okay. So yeah, so just knowing what I have on hand, not buying things that I don't need, knowing what I have out in the real world for sale, and being able to track all my spending in Inventora has been huge. Highly recommend. Okay, and then that would take me to website shipping. Okay, so I'm still using ClickShip. I think I talked about this last year. No monthly fee. You just pay for what you ship and you get a huge discount on it. So instead of being like $70 on the UPS website, you might only pay $20. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but I do know that I have compared before and it is wild. So I love ClickShip. Yeah, it's great. That's all. Oh, and it ties into my website still, which is great because I have moved my website. I said goodbye to WordPress and WooCommerce, and I am transitioning over to Squarespace. I feel like I have talked about this in like the last 8 videos because I feel like I've been doing it forever. But Squarespace, less maintenance, less moving parts, easier to update. My first year, I paid like $350. That was with a discount code. I did it at Black Friday. So whenever that was, November, end of November. Yeah, I had a discount code. So with tax, it was $340 something. So a decent deal. ClickShip still ties in to Squarespace. So yeah, everything's good for me. And this is where my business is at right now. And for where my business is at right now, Squarespace is perfect. And I'm really excited to be using it. Okay. So the last thing that I want to touch on is the money stuff. Not so much what I'm paying for everything, but kind of why and where I'm sort of headed here. So I made a big change, and that was I stopped using QuickBooks. Not because it's bad, not because there was anything wrong with it, but like it was a little robust for what I needed it for. I don't have employees. It's just me. I needed something to be tracking my spending, to track my inventory, to give me full visibility of what I'm paying for everything. And honestly, QuickBooks was a little much for me. And I felt like I was entering information in multiple spots, but like the same information. And that is not what all this is supposed to do. All of these programs that you're using are supposed to simplify things. So inventory handles my inventory, Excel handles my costing. And I now need a budget, and that kind of handles my visibility. Every January, you sit down and you start looking at your spending. And I mean, more so now because let's be real, like times are tough out there. Things are expensive, and it is so easy to get into all these subscriptions and everything and not know where your money's going. So in January, so recently, so this year, I really wanted to make a conscious effort to pay attention to my spending and spend intentionally, much like I want to do everything in my business with intention. So the YNAB, I think that's what the kids call it, the you need a budget, whatever. It seemed like a good fit. And the coolest part about it is you can have multiple budgets. So I can have a budget for my house and I can have a budget for my business, which is really quite awesome. So that has really opened my eyes to what I was spending. And it gives you a very clear picture of how much you have and how much is going out the door. So it's like $14.99 Canadian a month or $109 a year. So I paid for the yearly subscription. Seeing the subscriptions, seeing the suppliers and the small expenses have already framed some of my decisions and some changes. So honestly, I think it's invaluable. I highly recommend it, especially if you don't already try and maintain a budget for your business, which honestly is something that I didn't really do the last few years. I've known how much money I've had generally, but I have never fully paid attention to exactly what was going out the door, knowing when it was going out the door. This is just exactly what I need for the scale of my business right now. Okay, and then quickly, I'm gonna just kind of run through all of the things that I cut that I would have mentioned in the previous video. So I stopped using QuickBooks, Photoshop. Photoshop is too much for me. I don't need it. Everything that I was using Photoshop for, I can pretty much do in Canva. I'm taking all real photos of my products. It's not me just dropping a different label onto an empty jar. So I didn't need it, okay? And I spent more time trying to figure it out it's just not for me. Not for this time of my life. Now, I will say I do still use Lightroom. I have the free mobile app, and that is specifically because I have some filters in there that I like to use for my socials. So sometimes if I take a picture and I need to brighten it up or whatever, I hate Instagram filters. So I will throw my picture into my Lightroom mobile app, again, free, and I can edit the filter, brighten it up, dim it down, depends, right? But that is what I use it for. So I do still use that, but again, free. I don't use buffer anymore. I post in real time. Instagram does have a feature now where you can like delay, is it reels or I think it's just reels. I don't know if you can schedule a post. It doesn't matter. I am not so busy that I can't post my own social media content, okay? Should I ever become so busy that that happens again, I will look back. I like buffer. I have no issue with it. It just was kind of like bogging me down. I don't need so many programs. That's really like the bottom line of this video. So don't use QuickBooks, don't use Photoshop. I use free Lightroom. Don't use buffer. Don't use Notion anymore. I like Notion, but I'm already using Monday. I'm already using ChatGPT. I'm already, I have my Word docs. I don't need it. I think I'm too old for it. I think I'm too old. It's like those bullet notebooks, that the kids use. I don't understand them. Well, how is it any different than a normal notebook? Much like how is Notion any different than just having a content calendar like built into my calendar and like having my to-do lists? I don't know. It might have been one of those things that I just wasn't using properly. It's like, I see all these TikToks and it's like, are you using your iPad properly? Well, probably not, because I'm 100 years old and I just want to use it to read my magazines and scroll. Like, I feel like that's Notion. I just feel like it just wasn't a fit for me. But anyways, that's fine. I'm not using MailChimp anymore. I just canceled my MailChimp. I don't need it, honestly, with the tools that are already integrated into Squarespace and with the size of my mailing list, which is like 300 people. I don't need it. I just don't need it. And it was expensive. I mean, it's all relative. Everything's expensive. When you add it all up, everything was expensive. And then the last thing that I don't use anymore is WordPress. And so that has given me the freedom to cancel my self-hosting, which was expensive. Whenever you self-host a WordPress site, or self-host any kind of website, I would imagine, you have to have a platform to host it on. And the first year, they always charge you nothing. It's like dollars a month. And you're like, oh, wow, this is so affordable. No, because when it comes up for renewal, you end up paying 10,000 times more that. Like, also with the amount of work that you have to do to build a WordPress site and all of the add-ons, you're paying for your themes, you're paying for all these plugins, WooCommerce, the amount of work you have to put into that to have it do what you want it to do and to look the way you want it to look. Nope. Okay, so Squarespace, and now, what did I say? $350 for a year? Yeah, but it does all that. All I have to do is put the pictures in and write the copy. Easy, okay? So yes, absolutely not. If you are like a graphic designer or something, or like a computer whiz, by all means, that, the WordPress, the self-hosting, all that might be for you, but it's not for this girl. So that's that. Okay, and then the last thing I want to say, guys, is that if you're like me, this is not the first video you've watched of people saying what programs they use to run their small businesses. You do not have to take all of our advice. You do not have to run your business the way that I run my business. You might love Notion. You might love Buffer. You might be a WordPress girly. I don't know. We can be different. It's just nice to see what other people are using. So if I didn't mention a program that you use, firstly, please tell me about it, because I want to know. Maybe it's something I want the free trial of. Or if there's something that I'm using that you absolutely hate, you can tell me about it, but honestly, probably won't really matter because I'm telling you about the programs that I love. You don't need every tool that everybody recommends, but you need tools that match your business, the size of your business, and the stage of your business currently. My goal isn't necessarily to use fewer tools, but it's to pay for the tools that actually earn their keep. Okay, so again, let me know in the comments below. Do you love what I use? Do you use the same things? Do you have any other suggestions? Because you know your girl loves a free trial, and I'm not opposed to saying no, to trying something new, trying and seeing if it works for me. So if you found this video helpful, I would love for you to hit like and subscribe, and I would love for you to come back and be part of the group. I think we got a good thing going on over here. But that's all I have for today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, Canna friends.